So allow your knees to be open softly if that's the kind of seat you're in. Try not to have any discomfort. Try to make sure that you can stay with a comfortable seat that doesn't throw you off. So, you know, when you're uncomfortable, you start to fidget. When you start to fidget, you lose the connection with not only your breath, but your whole being. So get the fidgeting out of the way now and come into stillness. If I give you a posture or a suggestion of a posture and it doesn't quite ring with you, then that's okay. Adjust it so that it's something that you can do. So again, same thing with this sitting here. Take your hands and place your palms on top of your knees. It'll also help you keep your spine long. Draw your shoulders back and down. And then think about depressing your shoulder blades down. So as if you had a weight on your shoulders or hands on your shoulders, just allowing you to create space between your ears and the shoulders. So pull the shoulders down and then your collarbones will spread and your heart will be open. And so, you know, I like to think of our flows as a very heart-opening kind of flow, right? Just allows us that freedom to express our open hearts. And then gently tuck your chin to your chest and continue to depress the shoulders. And draw the right ear towards the right shoulder, just without creating that tension. So make sure your right shoulder presses down. And now, if you'd like, take your right hand and gently guide your right ear towards your shoulder. At the same time, take your hand and now bring your chin towards the collarbone. So just a slight angular change in the neck creates a completely different sensation. And then take your hand gently, draw your chin back to your center, to your chest. Take your other hand on top. Elbows point together and down towards the floor as you just give a very gentle press of your chin to your collarbone. And on the inhaling breath, stretch your arms up, lift your heart up, lift your head up. Reach the arms all the way up and place them back down on an exhale to your knees. Tuck your chin back to your chest. Relax the shoulders. Bring your left ear to your left shoulder. And then feel that right shoulder pulling down. Maybe the left hand gently guides that left ear towards the shoulder, not shoulder towards ear. There is a difference. And then gently take the chin towards the collarbone. So you just change a little the positioning. A couple of more of those long muscular releases. And then slowly bring your chin back to your chest. Take your right hand on top of your left. Elbows point together and down. And on an inhaling breath, stretch your arms all the way up. Spread your fingers. And release your hands behind you. Fingers in either direction. Lift your chest up and open. Good. Maybe some of you want to lift your hips up off the floor. That's fine. You don't have to. And then return back down. Lean back and shake out your legs. Switch the cross of your legs. And we'll just do a few more little rotational twists this time of our spine. Hands back on your knee. Lift your chest up, knees. Exhale, bring your chin back down towards your chest. Relax the shoulders down. On an inhale, pull your chest forward using your hands just to pull your hips back or your knees back. And then take your left hand outside the right knee, right hand behind you. Rise up on your fingertips, tense your fingertips. Keep your collarbones nice and broad, and then rotate your spine so you look over your right shoulder. Inhale. And exhale. Keep twisting. Keep finding the space in your spine. No force. And then take that right arm up and over to the left side. Keep your right hip grounded. And take your right arm across your left thigh. Lift your chest up. And Randy, for you, your favorite stretch, bring your two arms together in eagle wrap arms. Bring the arms up overhead, towards the ceiling. If you cannot double wrap your arms, that's okay. Just put your hands where they can go. And then release them down with the breath. Arms come all the way up. Inhale. Right arm outside left thigh. Left hand behind your back. Lift your spine. Lengthen. Twist to the left as you exhale. Drop your shoulders down. Keep your right hip grounded. Keep your left hip grounded. Inhale, left arm up and over. Stretch the side. Find some space. Use your hand against your knee to kind of lift you and then rotate you. One more breath. As you exhale, left hand comes down across the front of the body. Good. Now release the arms and rewind. Maybe this side goes a little easier than the other. Lift the arms up, lift your chest up, lift your heart up. Squeeze your elbows together. Feel that opening in your upper back. And then release your arms, stretch them all the way up overhead. This time, let's bring our hands forward, walk them out until you start to come forward off of your hands and knees, or onto your hands and knees, and shift yourself back onto your mat. Stretch your knees out underneath you. If you're not on the floor and you're on a ball, just start doing some cat-cows. So take your hands under your shoulders, tuck your toes, dip your belly, arch your back, and bring your collarbones towards the front of your mat. And as you exhale, top of the foot and shin down, head down, tuck the tailbone underneath you. Pressing the heel of the hand down, you should feel some energy in your arms to raise the torso upward. Let's tuck the toes, arch the back, dip the belly, broaden the collarbones. Maybe you want to take a little wagging of the tail. Come back to center and round your back. Take the top of the foot down, shin down, head down. Inhale, arch your back. Keep the toes tucked under as you sit back to a child's pose. Reach your arms out in front of you. Press your chest towards your thighs. Keep breathing. Walk your hands a little bit further out. One more breath here. And then walk your hands back to your knees. Keep your toes tucked under and come into a low squat. For those of you who cannot do this for whatever reasons, feel free to just take your feet on the floor and do a forward bend. Right now, I'm going to open my knees and I'm going to walk my hands out in front of me. Pull the belly into your spine. Stay there and breathe. Bring your chin to your chest. I've got to get a few extra little things here. Bring your chin into your chest. Round and curl your spine. Inhale and exhale. Take 2 more breaths there. And then as you release your breath, release your hands to the floor, walk them back in, and now straighten up your legs and fold over, hang your head. Shake it out from side to side. Keep moving, keep breathing. Forward bend, Uttanasana. Breathe. And sway a little bit side to side if that works for you. I'm just going to come back to the music, see where it went. And then finally, find stillness here. Grab opposite elbows. So as you grab your elbows, and your feet can be very wide or a little closer, see where you're at in your balance. As you grab your elbows, think about pulling them apart from each other. And let your head just rest towards the floor. Send your weight a little forward, a little back, a little bit into the sides of each side of the foot. And then stay here, but switch the cross of your arms. So it's probably your least familiar side. Breathe in, breathe out. And then let the arms just dangle. Fold forward, chin to chest, head down. Push firmly into the big toe, the little toe, the ball with the heel of the foot. And then pull your belly button up to your spine. And feel that lightness. Keep your chin tucked to your chest and roll yourself up to standing. When you come up to standing, roll your shoulders back and around a couple of times. And then reverse the direction. And then right here in stillness at the back of your mat. Bring your feet about hips width apart if you're not sure. It's about 2 fists in between your feet, or the width of your block is usually a good amount of space. Tuck the tailbone underneath you. Pull your knees up. Bring your collarbones forward. Drop your shoulders down. Now spread your fingers by your side and just wiggle them out a little bit, and then keep them nice and broad. Do the same thing with your toes. Lift each toe up individually. Spread them apart. And one of the most remarkable things I saw about the first yoga class I ever taught was the teacher had these great big spread apart toes. So each toe individually walks down back to the floor. Raise the arms up overhead. Inhale, bring your hands together, turn the palms inside out. And as you press the palms up to the sky, depress your shoulders like we did in the very first pose, and lean up and over to the right side. Don't go too far, don't go to your edge even, just find a little bit of a side bend. Inhale back to center and do it the other side. Oh, Michelle, I have music for you today, yeah. Pull that right arm and right heel down as well. Inhale back to center, lift your heart all the way up. And think about pushing your palms to the ceiling and then maybe arching back. Maybe, but make sure you're not sticking your butt out and overextending or hyperextending, right? Breathe in, breathe out. And then with the next exhalation, fold forward, release your hands right in front of your toes. Lengthen your spine, bring your collarbones forward. Walk your hands out one time, shift the weight back to your heels. Inhale, walk your arms out one more time. Maybe the heel of the hands are down now. Maybe the heels of the feet are up or down. Let's do that a couple more times or until you find your way into a downward facing dog. So a downward facing dog, for those of you who are newer, it's an upside down letter V. So you don't want to be too wide, you don't want to be too close. Shift your weight out of your hands towards your heels. Good. So that's more important than almost anything, is to keep the weight out of your neck, shoulders, your wrists, your forearms, and shift it back to your heels. Now pedal your heels out, right side, left side. Good. And if this gets to be too much for anybody, go onto your knees, take a break in child's pose, and return when you can. And then when you're ready, just find some stillness in your downward facing dog. Press your chest again towards your thighs. Shift your weight back out of your hands. So every time you get into this pose, this is what you're going to feel. Then rise up onto your tippy toes, soften your knees, and look towards the front of your mat. And make your way with little steps to come to the front of your mat. Again, in Uttanasana, forward folding stretch. This time, place your hands on your shins. Lengthen your spine. Bring your collarbones forward again. Head in line with your spine. And then round your back. Release your hands to the floor. Inhale, hands to your thighs. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold over in half, hands to the floor. One more time, bring hands to the heart or your hips. Lengthen your spine. And then rise all the way up to standing. Bring the arms up over your head. Release them down by your side and bring your feet to touch. Hands to prayer, inhale. As you exhale, stretch your arms up overhead. Interlace all but the thumb and forefinger. Bring your arms up, 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 reach up. And as you exhale, tilt over to your right side. So we're going to go a little bit more to the right now, a little bit more of your edge, right? Up and over, lifting up, making sure you're not collapsing through the right side of your body. Inhale, and come back to center. Exhale, up and over to the other side. So first find length, then find depth. Inhale, and exhale. Rise up to stand, lift your heart, drop back a little bit if it feels okay to you. Don't take this into your lower back. Now either take your hands bent back to prayer or bring your arms in front of you with a bent knee, slide to fold over, hands on the floor by either foot, lengthen your spine, inhale. As you exhale, fold your body in half. One more time, lengthen your spine. Right foot steps all the way back, low lunge. Let's take the knee to the floor on this first one. Left knee is over the ankle, and you're on your right knee. You're just slightly above it. Bring your collarbones forward. And then rise to your fingertips and just hover there so that you start to fire up into this left glute a little bit more. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Push that right hip forward. As you exhale, take left arm under right once or twice. Inhale, lift your heart. As you exhale, bring your elbows on the inside of your left knee. Now hug that left hip right towards your midline. You can do this from a seated position, a kneeling position, a standing position. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, release the arms, stretch them up overhead. And release your hands to the floor. Tuck your right toes underneath you. Square up your hips. Keep the right hand on the floor or on a block. Left hand moves to your hip. Twist to the right side after you've added length to your spine. Twisting left side, and hug that left hip towards midline. Left arm up over right shoulder. Hug hips in. Take a couple of deep, beautiful breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling. Left hand releases. Step forward to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. Empty the breath forward, fold. Rise to stand all the way, any way you want to come up. Hands together at your heart center. Exhale. Inhale, hands together, thumb and forefinger connect up overhead. Reach out of your waistline and stretch over to the right side. Good. Pull the left arm with the right, lift your chin off of your chest, and find some space on the right side of your body. Inhale back to center, up and over to the left side. A little bit more of your edge here. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Good. Inhale back to center, lift your heart. Maybe you drop back, maybe not. Just make sure those bottom ribs don't start pooching out and you can connect ribs and hips together. Breathe in. Come all the way up, inhale. And either come out with a nice U-turn here or just fold down to the floor. Hands on floor, shins or blocks. Lengthen your spine, inhale. Exhale, fold, inhale. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Step your left foot back. Take a nice big step and then lower your left knee to the floor. Release the top of your foot. Good. And just settle in here first. So make sure your knee is over the ankle. Make sure you're not sitting on top of your left kneecap, but you're slightly above it or ahead of it. And then climb to your fingertips and hover. So you start to feel this right hip, firing up here. You've got to have some stability somewhere, right? So you're not using your hands for that balance and stability. Now you're using your body. Oh, I can see you. Well, a little bit, Randy. All right. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead. Reach your heart up and open. And as you exhale, left arm under right, lift up. And fold in between, I think it was right arm under left actually, and fold in between your two legs. So just maybe bringing the arms inside of that right knee, and then hug that right hip towards the midline. Breathe in, breathe out. Good. Press through your foot to lift yourself up. Inhale. Release the arms all the way up overhead, and exhale, bring the hands to the floor. Tuck your left toes underneath you. You can stay on your knee if you'd like to, and take that left knee off the floor, right hand to the hip, turn to your right side, and then the right arm comes up. Spread your fingers. Tuck your shoulders on top of each other, and bring that right hip towards your midline. Take another breath. As you empty the breath, look down, hand to the floor. Left foot meets right foot, top of the mat. However you get there, it's all up to you. It's very personal. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, take your way to standing however you choose to get there. Hands to your heart center, exhale. Close your eyes for a moment and feel the ground. Feel the earth supporting you. Bring your arms down by your side. Drop your shoulders down. Feel the energy of this strong, strong mountain pose. Inhale, bring the arms all the way up overhead, open your eyes. Exhale, forward fold, all the way down to the floor. Halfway lift, inhale, right foot steps back, exhale. Stay on the ball of the foot or feel free to drop to your knee. Hug your hips in towards midline, and then stretch your arms up, crescent lunge. Inhale, and exhale. Bend your back knee so it's a little bit closer to the floor. Hug that left hip in, and now keep your hips low, but straighten your back leg. Reach the arms all the way up. Good. Now take the left arm underneath the right arm once or twice. Lift your heart and fold in between or inside of your legs. If you want, you can point your fingers down. If you want, you can take your torso down a little bit more. Inhale and exhale. Now bring yourself back up to standing. Keep the arms as they are for a moment. Turn your back foot on its side. Release your arms up. Inhale and open to warrior two as you exhale. So your hips are facing the right side of your mat. Your shoulders are facing the right side of your mat. Your right foot is pretty much at a 90-degree angle to your left foot, maybe a little turned in. Your left arm reaches forward, your right arm reaches back. Now pump your left leg straight for a moment. And then rebend it. Make sure that the work is going downward rather than forward into your knee. So release the hips, go down rather than taking weight into that front leg. And then spread your arms wide. Take your outer edges of both feet, press them firmly. The big toes press firmly, the ball of the foot, the heel, and that hip, that pelvis open up through the outside of your legs, and then squeeze inward. There's a lot to think about here. Inhale and exhale. One more breath. Can you go a little bit deeper? One more. As you exhale, rewind to the floor. Take your right hand inside, turn your right foot forward, and do that twist to the left side, which we did before. Inhale and exhale. Left arm comes to the floor. This time, let's step that left foot back, and we're in a high plank, the top of a push-up. Look forward, bring your shoulders a little in front of your wrists, and then either go to your knees or go halfway down, chaturanga. Roll through upward dog, or you're on your belly for a low cobra. Downward facing dog, hips up in the air. Inhale and exhale. Now bring your feet towards each other. Let's lift the right leg in the air nice and high. And step that right foot through. Good. So you can bring that back knee to the floor if you need to. Otherwise, come to a hovering position and start to raise your arms up. Inhale. You got crescent lunge here. Bend your back knee a little closer to the floor. And when you release that back knee, just keep your hips low, but stretch the leg out. And now take the right arm under the left once or twice. Good. So open up our shoulders here. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, bring your elbows inside the knee and maybe down towards the floor, around your spine. Keep your hips hugging towards midline. Inhale. Exhale. Check in with your abdomen. Are you putting your belly on your thigh, or can you lift it a little bit away so there's some action going on? On the inhaling breath, we rise back up, same arms. As we exhale, we release the arms, spin the back foot on its side, and turn to the left side of your mat for warrior two. Straighten out your front leg, and then rebend it. Look at your right hand. Pull back with your left hand. Hide your left hand with your right, and then squeeze your heels towards each other while your thighs open away from each other. A lot of action going on, right? All in that, a lot of it in that lower part of your body, from below the belly. Breathe in, and breathe out. Good. Can you sink a little bit lower for the next breath? And when you empty this breath, rewind, hands to the floor, spin your back foot in, keep your left hand down, right arm up, and we twist. Hug the right hip towards midline, reach your right fingertips up. Crown of the head reaches forward, inhale. And exhale. Last time here. Right hand down as you look forward. Step to a high plank. If you can't get there, just make your way onto your knees first if you have to. Go down to your knees or halfway down, chaturanga dandasana. Upward facing dog or low cobra. Downward facing dog or hips are in the air. Breathe in, let your head hang down. Bend your knees. Shift more weight out of your hands and towards your heels. Breathe. Good. Come to the top of your mat. Any way you get there. So raise up, jump up, float up. Halfway lift when you get there. Empty the breath as you exhale. Rise to standing all the way up. Bring your hands to your heart center. Exhale, bring your hands to your prayer, arms by your side. Inhale, stretch the arms out. Exhale, fold through your center. Halfway lift, inhale. As you exhale, make your way back through plank, through chaturanga, upward or low cobra, downward facing dog, hips in the air. That's sun salutation. A, breathe in, breathe out. Right foot in the air, look between your hands and step it through. Rise up on your fingertips first, hug everything towards midline, and then rise up to your crescent lunge. Good. Take your right arm under your left. Inhale. Exhale, fold inside. Reach your fingers down towards the floor, hug your hips towards midline. And then release the bind here, right arm down, left arm up. As the left foot spins on its side, look to your right foot and bring yourself into warrior two. Exhale. Flip your palms, reach forward, and take your left arm down and right arm up. Straighten your front leg. Rebend your front leg. Inhale, rise back up. Exhale, let it go. Right arm in the air as you twist. As you exhale, step to a high plank. Go through this flow or skip it, whatever you want or can do. You know there are some of you out there that will take a ton of push-ups in between, and some of you will never do a push-up. It's okay. Feet together, back of the mat. Left leg in the air, nice and high. Look between, step it through. Rise onto your fingertips, get yourself steady, and then bring the arms up overhead. Inhale. As you exhale, left arm under right, once or twice. Lift your arms up. You're gonna have nice and open shoulders today and tomorrow. Come down inside that leg and bring your fingertips towards the floor. Inhale. And exhale. Keep hugging that left hip towards midline. And then from here, release your left hand down, right arm up. Spin your right foot on its side. Side angle variation. Look down at your left toes. Rise up to warrior two as you exhale. Good. Flip your palms, reach forward, reverse your warrior. Lift out of that right side hip. And as you exhale, windmill down to the floor. Right arm down, left arm up. Open up for your twist. Release the left hand and take your flow your way. How you get to downward dog is oh so personal, right? It's not for everybody to do 100 push-ups or float back, but it is for some. Breathe in, breathe out. Now walk your hands to your feet, back of your mat, once again. Rise to your fingertips, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold your body in half. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Hands to your heart or hips, come up to standing. Heel toe your feet together. Bring your arms down by your side. Close your eyes, find the grounding. Inhale. And exhale. Open your eyes, stretch your arms up overhead. Right arm underneath left arm once or twice. Lift the arms up. Do a couple of neck circles if it feels good for you. And then press the arms down to the center, but don't let your arms rest on your chest. So have some space between your chest and your arms. All right. Lift your right heel off the floor. Start with the heel, and notice that this left hip is going to start shifting off to the left side a little bit to accommodate some balance. Pretend you've got both feet on the floor and you're standing upright. Now hug that left hip in and bring the right leg up in the air. Flex the foot. Cross the right leg over once, or maybe twice, or maybe you put your foot on the floor or a block. It doesn't matter, that's just a matter of flexibility. And then drop your hips down and level off your shoulders and hips. So you want to make sure that the hips are even. Let me look at you. Nice, Cindy, good. All right, so hug everything towards midline. And once again, we're going to tilt forward, round your spine. Good, bro. Round your spine. Put your belly up all the way toward your belly button up to your spine. Breathe in and breathe out. Now from here, just lift your torso halfway up. Release the right foot from the bind and find warrior three with eagle wrapped arms. Hips and shoulders point down towards the floor. Right toe reaches back, right toes. Inhale. Now bring your right knee up to your chest. Extend your right leg forward. Step forward. Take the left leg behind you. Reach your fingers forward, forward, forward. And then come to stand, release the arms up. Separate your feet, fold forward in between your legs. Hang your head and sway a little side to side. Grab a hold of your peace finger grip on your big toes. 2 fingers underneath, your thumb wraps in between the fingers and the toes. Look forward, inhale, broaden your collarbones. Exhale, draw the elbows out to the side and hang your head. Get rid of the tension in the neck. Just shake your head out, yes and no. Halfway lift on the inhale. Bring your hands to your heart or your hips and rise up to stand. So you might be a little bit more towards the front or the middle of your mat now. That's okay. Or if you want to walk back or forward, that's up to you. Inhale, bring the arms overhead. Exhale, left arm under right once or twice. Lift the arms up. Give a little stretch to the neck, maybe a little little side to side. And then bring your arms down, but not resting on your chest. Good. Bend your knees. Now, lift your left heel up without changing the shape of your hips and your pelvis, okay? So your left heel is up. I'm going to pretend that I'm still standing on 2 feet. And then I'm going to lift that left leg all the way up. And then cross it over once, twice, or maybe it's on the floor or a block. And then adjust your hips. So a lot of you might not have a mirror, but you can look in your camera and you can see the levelness of your hips, right? So drop your seat, just like chair pose, if you drop your seat, your hips and knees will become level. Good. Pull your shoulders back down. I think of you, Jane Ross, when I hear this song. And then round your spine, come forward, elbows in front of the knee. Pull your belly in, so you've got this rounded spine. Breathe. And then come up halfway with your torso. Release your left leg and shoot it behind you for a warrior 3 with eagle arms. Left leg behind you, point the toes, hips and shoulders point down. Inhale. Exhale, bring the left knee to your chest slowly. Good, stand upright, find your balance, extend your left leg out. Then step 2 to 3 feet forward. And once again, warrior 3 on the other side. Reaching your fingers forward. Hips and shoulders down, square to the floor. Good, Joe. And then bring your right foot to your left foot. Release your arms up overhead. Separate your feet forward, fold, hands to floor. Hang your head. If you need your hands on blocks or your shins, great, go for it. Let's take a second, Uttanasana. 2 fingers around your big toe. Wrap your thumb in between the fingers and the toe. Look forward, inhale. Pull your collarbones forward as you exhale, elbows out to the side, head towards the shins, and tailbone, sitting bones up towards the sky. Rise up on the inhaling breath, halfway lift. Release the hands from the toes, hands to prayer or to your hips. Rise up to standing, heel toe your feet together. Bring the arms by your side, shoulders down, eyes closed, gaze to the tip of your nose. Inhale, bring the arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, fold your body in half. Halfway lift, inhale. Walk, step, float, hop, fly through a vinyasa. Stepping back, going through your chaturanga. Upward dog, maybe you want to add push-ups. Downward dog. Very nice, Rebecca. Hips up in the air, chest to your thighs. Good. Step your feet together. Take your right leg in the air. Open your right hip on top of your left hip, but keep your weight in both arms evenly distributed. Right knee bends back and kick your heel towards your left buttocks. Keep squaring off your torso. It's the hips that are opening. Keep the knee bent as you return to a down dog. Stay in a down dog as the right knee comes to your chest, round and curl. And then shift into a plank in the same position. Right foot steps through. Left foot turns on its side. Warrior 2, facing the left side of your mat. Reach out. So adjust yourself so your shoulders are over your hips. Your upper thighs are rotating outward while your inner thighs and heels pull inward. And then it's like you're being pulled in 2 directions out of the center of your body, right? Right from this heart center, opening up and spreading in 2 directions. One more time, flip your palm, reach forward. Release that left arm down. Now lift out of your left side body and just try to push that left hip forward. So you're not collapsing, kind of like we did on the side bend, right? It is a side bend. Now straighten your front leg as you return. Shoulders and hips are going to face the left side of your mat. Reach your arms to the right or your torso to the right and come down to triangle pose. Maybe you need to shorten your back stance. Maybe you're okay where you are. Hand can be on your thigh. Anything but your knee. So if you reach down to the floor, if you have that length, you might have to shorten your stance to get there. Or maybe your hand goes behind your leg, or maybe in front of it, or on a block, or on your shin, or even on your thigh for your triangle pose. Inhale and exhale. One more big breath. Now stay in triangle for a moment. Bring your left hand behind your back and wrap it around behind your back. Maybe it grabs your right inner thigh. Stack your shoulders, lift your heart up. On the inhale, let's reverse our triangle. Reach all the way up. On the exhale, keep your left arm bound. right knee bends, right hand reaches in front or to the side, and take that left leg in the air for bound Ardha Chandrasana. Stacking shoulders, stacking hips, flex that left foot. Some of you will take the right arm off the floor as well. And if you want to stay in the bind or maybe open up and take the left arm up into your full Ardha Chandrasana pose. You're looking awesome, guys. Nice, Tish, breathe. Tish, bring that right arm a little bit more under your shoulder. So, yeah, perfect, thank you. Good. One more breath, guys. If your right arm is off the floor, bring it back. If your left arm is anywhere, put it on your left hip. Open up and stretch a little bit longer. And then bend your right knee. Straighten it as you come back to your triangle pose. Inhale, reverse triangle. Exhale, windmill to the floor. And let's reverse that twist one more time. Right arm up, hips hug in, breathe. Right hand to the floor. Step through a vinyasa or skip it. You do you. And downward dog is where we meet. Feet are together at the back of the mat. Left leg up. Open the left hip over the right. Pull that right hip in. Bend your left knee, but remember, your weight is being carried between the left and right hands here. But the hips are opening up. So your torso, your shoulders, they try to stay as square to the floor as possible. Now, keeping the knee bent, just spin around to a down dog with your right knee to your chest. You're still in dog here. And then shift forward to your plank with your knee to your chest. Left leg steps through. Right foot turns on its side. Warrior two facing the right side of your room or your mat. Good. Reach your palms forward. Reverse your warrior. Right arm down. Left arm up. Inhale. Lift out of that right side body. So you want to push that right hip forward. Lift up and over. And then get a little bit more length. Inhale. Straighten your front leg. Left arm out. Right arm back. Set up for your triangle. You might have to shorten your stance. Reach out, 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 out. Left arm down, right arm up. So again, you might have your left hand on a block, inside or outside of the foot, on the shin, on the thigh, or maybe you have that big toe grip. Ding dong, welcome back. Good, breathe. Inhale. Beautiful. So you really want to, don't worry about touching the floor in your triangle, worry about the shape of your torso. Tish, pull the right shoulder back under the left a little bit more. And just turn your heart open towards your doors. Beautiful. Inhale. And exhale. Now take your right arm and bind it behind you. Maybe you can grab all the way to your inner thigh. That'll help you get that opening that you need in that triangle and Ardha Chandrasana. Look down as you reverse your triangle. Left arm is up. As you exhale, left hand comes in front of left leg. Bend the left knee enough that you can get your left hand to the floor. And then right arm, right shoulder, right hip, stack open. Flex your foot. Breathe. So we're keeping the openness in our shoulders that we've been working on this entire class. And by the way, don't get pissed off at yourself if you come out of a pose, right? Doesn't matter. Now, if you want to stay here in your bind, or if you want to just release that right arm up, breathe in and out. One more breath, gang. Right hand to the hip, wherever it is. Look down, soften back, and find your triangle pose one more time. Stacking shoulders, reaching up, reaching down. And you're lifting out of that left side of your body, right? So you're not collapsing into your left side. You've got this strength, this lift, this core engagement. One more breath. As you exhale, well, we're going to come up, windmill back, and then windmill down to the floor. Right arm down, left arm up for your twist. Exhale through a vinyasa or skip it. Take your time. Listen to your body, that's the key. Hips up in the air. Downward facing dog. Bring your feet together. Float your right leg high in the sky. Right leg steps right underneath your heart. Walk your hands back to your foot. Step your left foot a little bit out to the left side. And then pull the right hip back, left hip forward. This is a good place for blocks. So if you have a block, bring it nearby. We'll take it into our left hand as we rise to standing. So if you have a block, it's in your left hand. When you get up from standing, you know, it's very nice to think that we're always going to land in the perfect position for whatever we're going to do. And sometimes, of course, you don't know what we might do. So it's okay to adjust. So that right hip pulls back, left hip pulls forward. Tailbone tucks, collarbones are forward. My right hand's going to stay on my back or my hip, and left arm is going to come up in the air. Whether I have a block or not doesn't really matter here, but it's just easier to carry it with. So lengthen out of your spine, then reach your arm forward. And as you reach, I'm going to take the block away for a second, just so you can see the levelness of my shoulders and hips, hopefully the levelness of my shoulders and hips. And it's very hard to feel it a lot, so think about pulling right back, left forward. Left arm is reached all the way out in front of you. So you've got the length in your spine. Now you can make that rotation outside or perhaps just inside of your foot. Right hand on your hip. Lengthen the spine again because chances are we came out of a little bit. And then twist to the right side. Shoulders stack. If you feel comfortable and stacked, the right arm can come up. And once again, we create length before we twist or we side bend. Parivrtta Trikonasana, twisted triangle pose. Beautiful. What kind of world do you want? Think about it. One more breath here. Now, take your right hand to the outside of your right leg and move your left hand towards it. We did this yesterday a little bit, yeah? But we're going to come from here, for those of you who want to do a funky arm balance. You might have to step your back foot forward, back behind you a little bit, and bring the knee to the floor. Hands are on the outside of your right leg. Palms are on the floor. This is an opportunity to either try or just stay where you are. Maybe that right leg comes up, maybe that left leg comes up. Don't get hung up on it. If you're not there yet, you'll get there. It may be, you know, that's why they call it practice, right? Because if we were all perfect, we would do this. So if you're in the arm balance, take yourself down lightly. Let's get back to that steer pose with our hands outside of the right hip. And then walk through that to the other side. Pivot all the way around. And fold in between your legs. Widen your legs apart. Turn your toes slightly pigeon-toed. And let your head come down to the floor. And for some of you, you like to take another balance here in a headstand, tripod, or anything else. Or else just stay folded in between your two legs. Take the next breath to rise up to your fingertips. Walk back to the front of your mat. Step through a vinyasa or just a downward dog or even child's pose. Upward dog, downward dog, hips up. Feet together at the back of your mat. Left leg high in the sky. Look right beneath your nose and step your left foot there. Walk your hands back to your left foot. Step your right foot outside, hip width apart. You're not on a trapeze or a tightrope. Lengthen your spine. If you have that block, place it towards your right hand, or you can keep it on the floor. And then just rise up to standing. So again, we probably have to come into some adjustment here, and you might not know that till we get into the pose. Shoulders and hips are all pointing forward. Big toe, little toe, ball of the foot, heel down. Left hand moves to your hip or sacrum. Right arm comes in the air. Find the length. So again, we're getting that length before we twist or rotate or bend. Now come down halfway. Again, I'm going to put the block on the floor so you can see. I'm reaching forward like I'm going to go shake your hand. Shoulders and hips are level to each other. Length out of the spine, then rotate to the inside, outside, foot, shin, or block. Lengthen your spine. Turn your forehead or the crown of your head towards the front of your mat. Left hand stacks on top of right if you have that space. And look out of your belly, look up towards your left hand. Breathe. Inhale. And exhale. This is a hard pose for those of us with tight hips especially. So you might have to shorten or lengthen your stance or use one or maybe two blocks. One more breath. Good. Now, release your left hand to the outside of your left leg. Move your right hand there as well. Ooh, let your head come down. Inhale. Now, you can stay right here and work on this pose because it's challenging enough. Or maybe you're going to take your right leg back and lower to the floor so both hands are on the outside of your left hip. If you want to try for the arm balance, bring your hands to the floor and lift your hips onto the ledge that you're creating with your triceps. Left leg can come forward, right leg can come back. Some of you get into a chin stand. Some of you do all sorts of wonderful, beautiful things. And some of you are just staying in the pose from the top. And it's okay. Any which way you go. So if you're doing anything else but feet on the floor, come on back down slowly. Come back to center. Good. We're going to step back through a plank. I think we did, or did we do a twist? I don't remember, honestly, guys, so if I did a twist, I know you remember. And Cindy's doing push-ups. So step back through your vinyasa when you're ready. And we'll get a little mea culpa from me. Downward facing dog, hips up in the air. Now bring your right knee on the floor in the middle of the mat, just where you were standing before. Shift the right foot to the left side. Bring your left knee behind it, so you're like the scarecrow, you know, which way do I go? That's what your legs are doing. Go Mukasana, legs. If you need a block or have a block, feel free to put it underneath your hips. But sometimes, even though the hip will lift or the knee will lift because the hips are tight, sitting on the block sometimes doesn't give you as deep a stretch, but it will assist your pelvis to be stable and neutral in the right position. So we're going to sit our hips back to the floor. Again, you can try to sit on a block. If your hips are tight, like mine, that top knee may be very high. So here's what happens when I sit on the block. Suddenly I can get my knees together. But personally, I don't get as deep a stretch. But that's okay, right? You have to compromise sometimes. Take your towel if you have one, if you need one. Take your right arm, hold the towel, and bring it behind you, in between your two shoulders. Take your left arm behind you and grab a hold of that towel. And pull your head against your arm so your tricep, I feel my triceps from Friday. My triceps getting a nice stretch, or Trish from yesterday. You can stay here or take that fold. And again, if you're on the block and you need to come off of it a little bit more, that's fine. Just try to keep your hips on the earth or on the block. So this is a tight stretch. This is a pretty powerful stretch for our arms, our shoulders, and our hips. Take another breath. Rise up slowly. Release your hands from whatever you're doing. Roll your shoulders back and around a couple times. Now, take your hands on the floor in front of you. If you're on a block, just move it off to either side. Tuck your toes underneath you and lift your hips into a shorter downward facing dog, and then walk your hands to your feet. So if you're just in any other position, bring your right foot across your left foot in a forward fold, and then roll up slowly through your spine. Bring your arms up overhead. Left arm grabs the right arm and lift up and over. So same thing we did earlier, only one leg is crossed in front of the other. Breathe. Lift up and over, stretch, breathe in and breathe out. Rise up on the inhale. Release yourself on the exhale. Walk your hands only as far as you can. Keep your heels on the floor, chest towards your thighs. So it could be a downward dog or a little shorter. Good. Release your left leg in the air. And then bring your left knee on the floor and bring your left foot to the right side as the right knee comes behind it. Open up to the scarecrow. Which way did it go? All right, and have a seat back on the floor or on a block. You may notice right from the get-go that one side has a little bit more conversation than the other side. Make sure you're not sitting on your heels. Inhale, the arms are going to take either a strap or a towel, or you're just going to grab your shirt from behind. Left arm is up, right arm comes behind you, and then push your left ear against your left tricep or the back of your arm. Lift your heart all the way up. Inhale. And exhale. Maybe you want to fold forward. That can intensify the stretch a whole lot. So that might not be somewhere you want to go for either your arms or your hips. So stay upright if that's the case, and just close your eyes and breathe, because that will take your mind away from the horrible thoughts you're having about me right now. Right? Any other thoughts outside of bringing breath into the spaces that require it right now, your shoulders, your chest, your hips. Breathe in, breathe out. On the next breath, rise up. Release your bind, release your strap, release your towels, roll your shoulders, and then bring your hands forward, tuck your toes underneath you, lift your hips up into that funky dog, and walk your hands back to your feet. Right now, left foot should be in front of right foot. Hang your head and ragdoll to stand all the way up. Inhale, right arm grabs left arm as we stretch over to the right side. You should feel this left outer hip nice and strong and connected. And then inhale back to center. Exhale, fold down once again. Walk out, can be a little bit shorter. And then this time, let's just release the bind of our legs. So separate your feet, back to hips width apart. Take one more vinyasa here, come forward to plank, lower down your way, upward dog, and downward dog. So one way or another, I'm not watching, I'm not going to pretend, I'm not going to comment on how you get there, I don't care. It's all in you. Look, I am watching, but I'm not going to say anything. Bend your knees, look forward, and somehow make your way into your seated straight leg in front of you. Some of you can float through, some of you will just plop down like I do most of the time. If you need to sit on a block again to lift you evenly, go ahead. And then shift yourself from side to side and just wobble yourself. This is like, I call this Uttanasana. Kind of walk forward, walk back, and smooth out the sitting bones or the space, the flesh underneath the sitting bones. And then place your hands by your knees and pull your heart through. So get a nice long spine. This is usually where I turn my mat around so that you can see. So I'm sitting up nice and tall here, flexing my feet really strong in the legs here. And then all I want to do is let go of my hands without any other action changing here. So sit up nice and tall in a seated staff pose with your arms in front of you. Inhale. Good. Exhale. Bring your hands to the floor. Bend your knees so that your knees and feet are together. Grab a hold of your shins and pull the heels a little bit closer to your hips. Some of you will get right on top of your hips and some of you won't. Now hold on with your left arm across both legs and release the right arm. Notice that hopefully your spine doesn't change here. So try the same thing on the other side. Good. Now hold on with both arms. And try lifting both arms up without any other action in your body happening. That's challenging. It should be challenging. All right, so let's cross our arms again, cross our shins. Take a breath in, spine is long. Really, you got to find your pelvic floor. You've got a belly to spine. You've got to squeeze your legs together. Take a breath and let go without any other action happening here. Ooh, I don't know. I find it challenging. Now, bring your chin to your chest and round your spine, and take your time as you roll yourself to the floor, one vertebrae at a time. When you get to the floor, head is going to come down, knees are going to come up. Grab a hold of wherever you can. Fingers, toes, wrists, ankles, opposite elbows if you have the space. And then take a hold of your hands, one on each leg, Grab for the top of your foot, your shin, your ankle, and pull your heels to the floor. As you pull your heels to the floor, your back is going to arch. So leave it there for a moment, just recognize it. And then tilt your pelvis so your pubic bone points to the ceiling. And then peel your spine one vertebrae at a time off the floor. You're in bridge pose. Keep your head looking towards your knees. Don't turn your head. I'm just turning so I can look at you and you can hear me better. If you want to stay there, stay there. Otherwise, let's take our arms over our head today on the floor behind us for a moving bridge, a couple of breaths. So inhale here. Exhale, articulate your spine down to the floor. Release your arms, release your hips. Inhale, lift the arms and hips up at the same time. Exhale, articulate your spine down. That means your lower back doesn't go back to your middle back is down. One more time, take your arms up overhead, moving bridge. Stay here. Push down a little bit deeper through your hips. And now, if you'd like to bring your arms underneath your back, interlace your fingers and roll your shoulders underneath to get a little bit more extension. Or if you feel like you can and want to, hands by your shoulders, fingers point towards you. Come lightly onto the top of your head and press up into Shavasana or Urdhva Dhanurasana, upward facing wheel, opening up into your biggest back bend. This may be somewhere you want to go today, or maybe not. It may be somewhere that you have in mind that I'd like to try in a couple weeks. Today's not the day. And when you're ready, come down top of the head. Good, Joe, keep going. Upper, mid, lower back to the floor. When you're done, knees come into your chest. And then bring your feet to the outer edges of your mat. Let your knees fall to the right. Arms out to the side. Right leg over the left leg. Just at the top of the, above the knee, or down a little lower. Take another breath here. Good. Uncross the leg. Come back to center. Let the knees fall to the left side. Take the left leg. This is optional as well. Left leg over the right. And then release the leg, come back to center. One more time, let's bring our knees to our chest. Round and curl your spine. Take a nice big breath in. Lower your head. Let your legs come up in the air. Option to stay here or place a block or something underneath your hips. Another option is to take your feet overhead into your plow pose, rolling up onto the top of your shoulders, reaching your arms away, or maybe they clasp, or maybe some of you take your hands to your feet, or maybe you want to take your deaf man's pose, knees over the ears. So all, again, a very personal decision on what you do here. Find some stillness for another breath or two. When you're ready to come out of wherever you are, our backs will be on the floor, our legs will be in the air. And then lower your legs to the floor. We'll take one more little extensive expression. Legs down, forearms down, head on, or resting on top of the head, bringing your heart and your collarbones open. Breathe in, breathe out. Uttanasana, fish pose. Find a little bit more expanse, and then bring your chin to your chest. And slowly roll your head down. Everything comes down to the floor. Hug your knees all the way back to the chest. One big final hug. And then take everything onto the floor. Arms and legs are straight in front or to the side of you. Your hips are open. Your palms are open. Take one hand, for a second, place one hand on your heart and one hand on your abdomen. Breathe against your hands. And then let go of the Ujjayi breath and just feel your body, the ebb and fall, or the rise and the fall, the ebb and flow of your breath, like a wave on the ocean. It's kind of a massage to your spine with each inhale and with each exhale. And if you'd like to stay there, or once again, bring your arms out by your side. Relax your shoulders, relax your breath, relax your eye gaze. Let your body melt into the mat. Let your thoughts be distant like the clouds in the sky, ever changing, so they flee. The minute a thought comes in, it can go away. So just let that happen in this Shavasana. Don't have conversation with your thoughts. If you have the opportunity to stay longer in your Shavasana, please stay. Turn me off, turn yourself off, and just lay in this beautiful healing pose. Or begin to deepen your breath where you are. Start to make subtle movement through your fingers, your toes, your wrists, your ankles. And gently bring your knees into your chest. Roll to either side today, you choose. Make your way to a comfortable seat similar to as we started. And bring your hands to your heart center. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace to all. Take this opportunity to give yourself a gratitude moment for bringing yourself to your mat this morning and every time that you step on the mat. I thank you all for being here and allowing me to guide and share practice with you today and always. And now let's all bow to each other, to the beautiful light, the peace, the goodness, the love within. Namaste, Satnam, and go in peace. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you all for being here. I'll hang around for questions. You stay home, stay fit, stay healthy.